back, Kings fans. It's Matt Murray from lifeinhockeywood.com. And if you've been following the negotiations for high-priced winger Ilya Kovalchuk this weekend, well, you've had one hell of a time. After the initial overtures made by Kings general manager Dean Lombardi, Kovalchuk stated that he wasn't budging from his $10 million per season request. This prompted Lombardi to throw up his hands on Friday, stating that the Kings had made their final offer. Upon hearing that, Kings fans everywhere sounded like Bill Paxton from the movie Aliens.
Well, that's great. That's just f***ing great, man. Now what the f*** are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
You finished?
With the news that the Kings were out, prompted the New York Islanders to come forth reportedly with a huge deal. I say reportedly because it was reported online that they would be offering him 10 years, $100 million, which was what he was standing firm on with Los Angeles. The KHL, the Continental Hockey League, continued to state that they were favorites to land Kovalchuk. Their whole angle was, since he wanted to play for Mother Russia in the 2014 Olympics, they would sign him to a 4-year deal, around $40 million. But the biggest concern I had going into this whole thing, the New Jersey Devils came forth reportedly on Monday with a 7-year, $60 million offer from Uncle Lou. Upon hearing all these offers, Kovalchuk's agent Jay Grossman tweeted that he was weighing his options and was going to make a decision on Monday. But then he later amended it and said that he was going to sleep on it and make his decision on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Dean Lombardi stated on Monday night that the Kings weren't going to be seriously considered by Kovalchuk. But then Tuesday came and went, and nothing happened. Everyone in the NHL was scratching their heads. Since it was the New Jersey deal that was last reported, it was just generally assumed that that was the one that he was seriously considering. But then late Tuesday night, it was reported that the Kings and Kovalchuk were back in contact. And on Wednesday, it was reported that it was Kovalchuk's camp that had contacted the Kings. So now the usually doom and gloom Kings fans were now sounding like Bill Pullman from the movie Independence Day.
We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
So where are we now? It seems to me that Lombardi's ploy of stating final offer caused Kovalchuk to look around, see what his other options are, and then come back to the table willing to negotiate. After all, it's not called a negotiation if one side isn't willing to bend. And now that Kovalchuk has looked around and see what else is out there, we should see a resolution to this sometime soon. I mean, let's take a look at this logically. Turns out that the Islanders' offer was never made official, and that was always a questionable place for him to sign anyways. They're rebuilding there in New York, and their needs go far beyond what one player would bring to the table. The KHL, meanwhile, would love to sign Kovalchuk. But from what I read online, when the Kings bowed out, their offer dropped both in price and in length. And the Devils' situation still seems like they would have to shed salary. And while Uncle Lou is no dummy, it seems like trying to hammer out a deal to make this one player fit would be too much of a headache for him. Besides, that team is built on the back of Martin Brodeur, who probably has a couple seasons left. Signing Kovalchuk long-term, 6 or 7 years, is probably not realistic. Which leaves the Kings. With their young core and space under the salary cap, the Kings' window to win the Stanley Cup is just opening, while the Devils is just closing. So what should Kings fans take away from this? Well, 2 things. 1, there is a difference between Bill Paxton and Bill Pullman. And number 2, the Kings are still in this race. How much is he going to get? How long is he going to sign? I don't know. I'm not a capologist, and that side of the game doesn't interest me. It sounds too much like trying to balance my own checkbook, which I don't do very well anyways. I'll finally be happy when all this is over. Sure, the Kings might have nothing to show for themselves after putting everyone through all this drama the last 4 days. But if they do wind up signing Ilya Kovalchuk, well, it'll all be worth it. Until then, I'll be waiting, just like every other Kings fan, to see if Dean Lombardi can reel in this big fish to take this franchise to the next level. So until then, I'm Matt Murray for lifeinhockeywood.com. Let's go Kings.